Call to order the County Operations Committee meeting of Tuesday, January 24th. It's noon, so the first thing I need to do is get a motion to have Sharon Williams join via phone. All right, Dr. Blair and Mr. Elsasser. All in favor with the sign of aye? Aye. Those opposed? All right, welcome Sharon. Sharon, can you hear us? Okay. I'm assuming.
She's supposed to be there.
She's going to be there. All right.
Oh, she isn't calling anything? She told me she was, but okay.
Well, she is. Yeah, we know. All right. Yeah. All right. So the first action item is to approve the minutes of January 4th, 2023. So I need a motion. Mr. Phelan and Camille is second. Any changes, alterations, modifications need to be made? Seeing none, all in favor with the sign of aye? Aye. Those opposed with a nay. All right. That passes. We do have two informational items that I will pass over to Mr. Sorrell.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let me get my packet open here. First informational item is the workforce report. You'll find that on page 4 in your packet. This covers activity through the end of December of 2022. As we talked about, I think at last month's committee meeting for the new committee members, this is a report that is generated every month for this committee. Again, is our workforce dashboard. The top third of the page represents positions that were posted and the number of applicants that we received for those positions within the month of December. And it compares year over year, so December of 21 through December of 22. So those are month statistics. The top quadrant on the right side is hires, again comparing December of 21 to December of 22. Just as a reminder, as we state every month, just because someone was hired in December doesn't mean the position was posted in the month of December. Sometimes the hiring process takes longer than that. Middle third of the page shows the workforce demographics. And then the bottom third of the page are separations. Those are, as you can see, are cumulative on the left side where we show compare month by month in calendar year 21 to 22. And then in the right is the separations by department. And so you can see in December of 21 versus December of 22, in both years, the sheriff's office had the most separations. Because of the retirements to the outgoing board members, the county board actually had the most separations by department in 2022. In 21, it was JDC. Happy to answer any questions.
Mr. Hare.
Yes, it's not on this report, but what came to my attention with the dog catchers, and they were talking about the number of separations. And is there a report that says what the reason of separation is, whether it's retirement, which everybody celebrates, or someone jumping ship, which then would give us cause to maybe look at, obviously, our packages and whatnot? Can that be denoted on some report, or is that information available?
I'm going to look to Shauna or Angela. I know we have it. It's a function of how accessible that information is and what categories we would want to put it in. I mean, I would think, we would have a retirement separation, we would have a termination separation, and then there would be a third that would, maybe be other. That most likely is going to be for someone that maybe left for a position somewhere else in another organization or another community. So I know we have the data. It's a function of how well we could report that out. So looking at either Shauna or Angela to...
Yeah, definitely. We do have that data. We kind of categorize them in about 10 different categories. So it's just kind of a matter of how you'd want that shown.
I'm mainly concerned about the people who are jumping ship for greener pastures, especially in light of the negotiations that we're having with all the unions, that to have a good pay package, and we want the best for our employees. just to keep us on notice that we're either competitive or we're not competitive based on the exit door.
Sure.
Yeah, so we'll put some information together, Chairman, and try and pilot that next month and get some feedback from the committee and refine that as needed.
Okay.
Great.
Dr. Blair?
Sorry, the statistician in me has to speak up. On the, not related to that though, on the race and ethnicity, the other, is that just a self-identification as that? Can they identify as prefer not to say?
Currently, and I'll maybe let Angela expand upon this, currently it's self-identification for all of these categories. So the way we currently have things structured, it would be other. I would think in the future, as we get further into the implementation of Munis, we'll be able to modify our job application process and expand that. But I'll let Angela kind of touch on that.
So the other in our current system is whether you identified as 2 or more. And so in our new system, it is a 2 or more is a specific box that they would check. And it is not a requirement for applicants or employees to identify. So it is self-identification. So.
And then as we look at gender, can they select a gender that's not male or female?
In our old system, it's just been male or female. Same way with the new system, but we're looking at what types of ways that we can kind of configure that.
Okay. Any other questions, Mr. Nate?
Just to add on to that, I know we have a diversity officer now, and we're looking for another one. Is there specific targets that we're looking for percentage-wise in these areas? So again, back to a scoreboard of how well are we doing?
Typically, no, we are not. We do not have stated numeric goals for any ethnic or gender identification. So there's no requirements that we have for any of our positions, to my knowledge.
Mr. Renaud?
Thank you. Even prior to Mr. Hare's comment, I was going to recommend maybe we could ask Mr. Allen to come in and just give us an update on, since it's a new office, what he's doing and what he's doing to help with these numbers.
Okay. No,
Yeah, we can certainly do that. I know, looking at the draft rules that Vice Chairman Williams asked me to put in the packet for the Rules Committee, that had to be postponed today due to her inability to attend, that they moved all of DEI reporting to Executive Committee. At least that's how it's drafted in the rules. But obviously we can, on as needed basis, Mr. Allen can come and provide some type of a report to this committee.
Any other comments? Thank you for the input. And again, I asked last meeting of if you have things that you'd like for us to report, you know, for the benefits of the county, the board, and transparency for the public, please bring those forward and we can work together to make a better reporting. Then the risk.
Sure. Thanks, Mr. Chairman. So on page 5 is the liability and work comp report, or our risk report. This is a quarterly report that you'll receive, so you will not see this every month. Top half of the page deals with liability claims. So you'll see in the top left quadrant the number of claims filed per year, and then the number that are still open as of the running of the report. Top right quadrant is the money associated with it in terms of the reserve remaining and the total amount of money outlaid for those claims. Bottom half of the page is workman's compensation, same concepts. Left is workman comp claims filed and open to date, and the bottom right is the money associated with it. And if you have any detailed questions, I know Angela can definitely answer those.
Any questions on the liability and work comp report? Okay. Oh, Mr. Elsasser?
the green line on the work comp claims by year at the top has the number 16. Is that just where it's plateauing out at 16? Or where
So-
does that come from?
As of the date that the report was run, we had, of the 53 claims filed in calendar year 22, there were 16 that were still active. If we close any of those 16 cases between now and the end of the first quarter of 23, that number will be reflective of that change. So you can see we actually still have one case of the 91 that were filed in 2018, one case is still active. And of the 63 cases filed in 2019, there are 2 still active, and there's 3 of the 54 still active from calendar year 21.
This is the first time I've ever served on this committee, but so maybe I haven't looked at this extensively, but that's a lot of claims in 1 year. Do most of them come from, like the highway department and our police officers, or are they like a lot of them from inside the courthouse here? Or?
A majority of them are from the sheriff's office, JDC, or animal control, and prior to that, Headington Oaks.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions on the report? All right, seeing none. That was what we had for informational. We had no action items, but we do have an executive session. So I'd like to get a motion to go to executive session for labor relations. Dr. Blair is the first. Brian Elsasser is second. All in favor with the sign of aye. Aye. Those opposed? All right, we will move to executive session. Hang the phone up and so, good? So this month for executive session,